What is up, everyone, and welcome to episode 73 of... I almost said the Game Awards. That's where my head's at.
It's a long Game Awards.
Yeah, it's a long
Yeah, the Game Awards.
Yeah. Of Next Gen Newsweek, a podcast for this week. We're going to be talking a lot about the Game Awards. Before that, my name is Mitch. Joining me today is Richard.
Hello.
Starting to get very festive in his house if you're watching the video version.
Very, very festive.
And Chase, who's starting to fill in his bookshelf with more stuff every time we come back on. He's got a Dialga figurine at the top now, and some other stuff in red boxes. I can't tell what it is. So, I have
seems like either he's moving closer or the bookcases are creeping up on him too. So he's closer there. He's got.
You can't see it, but because my chair's in the way. But I added something to my shelf too. It's the Game Awards official co-streamer badge thing that they gave out. So yeah, we're officially co-streaming the Game Awards, and we're not going to get copyright striked on the channel for any music or anything, which is really nice. So yeah, that's happening tomorrow. But we have a pre-show that's going to be going live at 6 p.m. where we're going to be doing our trivia winner and doing our best of 2021 little awards that we've got, because we had people in our community vote for their favorite games, so we're going to be handing those out. They don't mean anything other than this, what our community thinks is the best games of this year. So that'll be starting at 6 o'clock. We'll be done by 6:30, and then we're going to turn over to the Game Awards and let that run out, and then we'll do some recap on that at a later time, as soon as it's over probably. All right, let's get into what games are coming out this week. See if there's anything in here that anyone is planning on picking up. I know there's at least one in there that I will be playing in a little bit. We have the Endwalker expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. Are either of y'all into Final Fantasy XIV?
No.
I don't like online Final Fantasy.
I've always wanted to get into it because Ty and some other people I'm friends with are like really big into those types of games, but I never got into it.
I prefer my Final Fantasy single player.
Oh. We have Gang Beasts coming out on the Switch. Heavenly Bodies. I've never heard of that game before. It came out on PlayStation yesterday. Life is Strange True Colors came out on the Switch. Serious Sam 4, which I don't know anything about, but Chase, you at least know something about it because you were asking me about it yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was kind of like a Doom clone, but it's like just like Doom cranked up to 11.
Okay.
It's just like way over the top, just tons of enemies, just yeah, it's just like you can't stop moving. It's wild.
Nice.
Yeah.
Spellforce 3 Reforced. Again, never heard of that one. Came out yesterday on everything. White Shadows, also yesterday. The big one, Halo Infinite, big release happening today, which is weird. It's on a Wednesday. And it's unlocking at noon, which usually most releases unlock at 11 p.m. the night before. But so it's kind of weird that they're not even letting you pre-install it until 12 o'clock today, which is dumb, but I'll live with it. Loop Hero coming out on the Switch tomorrow. Monster Rancher 1 and 2 Director's Cut for Switch, PC, and iOS tomorrow. And Witchwood, which I feel like we've talked about Witchwood on the show before. Am I mistaken? Am I thinking of something else?
There wasn't a whole lot about it, but we have mentioned it.
Okay.
Out of all of them, that's the one I'm picking up.
Nice. All right, so before we get into headlines, let's talk about some games we've been playing. Richard would love to probably point out that I have been bouncing around and starting a bunch of shit all week long. And not really making any headway.
I need to finish a bunch of games by February, so the plan is to start them all now.
Yes. that's pretty much how it went.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
And look, I've had to make some tough calls, and there's some stuff on my Before Dying Light 2 list that's had to get cut for other things. It's just where I'm at. But Richard, would you like to start us off with what you've been playing?
Yeah, I haven't been playing anything. My wife's been off this week. So anytime she's off, I try to stay away from that. So I started, and it's a shame that Steven's not here. Fantasy Life Online dropped. I think it's available on all mobile platforms. I play it on iPhone, and it's pretty good. I think the problem that I'm having with it is that, the very first one came out for the 3DS, and I thought it was really good as far as, like, little kiddie RPGs go, or JRPGs. This one, it's like they've taken that, but they've tried and fused it with Genshin. Well, I'm not gonna say Genshin Impact. That whole gotcha style, which, I know it's mobile, so it doesn't feel required. I feel like it's just there to add a little bit of depth to it. So, I mean, it's still cute. It's free to play. It's fun to check out. But yeah, aside from that, I've scaled. I need to get back into Shin Megami Tensei, and I did play a little bit of Cyber Shadow last night, which that's pretty good. So,
Nice.
going through a little retro phase.
Jace, what have you been playing?
Well, I think, as soon as I finished the podcast yesterday, I started Tales of Iron. And then, Richard, I know Richard started that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, really intense. Like, the character, combat is just so good for a 2D side-scrolling game. I loved it. Like, I just could not put it down. I did end up getting the platinum. There is like a free DLC where there's bosses after you beat the game. There's like a handful of bosses you can just fight. But yeah, I love that. And then I've been playing that Yonder Cloud Catcher game, which is kind of like if you mix Breath of the Wild with Animal Crossing, kind of.
Nice.
So it's just it's just nice and relaxing. I haven't no, there's no combat, just running around collecting things and building things and stuff like that. So I'm doing that, and then I was gonna hop on the Destiny 30, the Bungie 30-year anniversary thing for Destiny, and I did not do that, but I'll probably get on that tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to at least just log in to get that stuff. If you haven't seen it, there is some Halo-themed weaponry that is coming to Destiny, along with other Bungie-related IPs celebrating their 30th anniversary. I don't know how long it's running for, but I know the Halo ones look absolutely they look incredible. The way that they designed some of those weapons. So as far as games I've played, and for I'm gonna limit my time to games that I've played for more than like an hour and a half, because I started look, when my ADD kicks in, it's just like, you just gotta run with it. I started Pokemon Brilliant Diamond long enough just to poke fun at one of my coworkers, because I was just like, what if I got in and I was just picking on him? I was like, what if I name my rival Quentin? What if I name my Pokemon Quentin, and just send it to him and just start mess with him? And that's about as far as I did with it. I don't know. I want to play it. I love Pokemon. But I guess now, to me, it now is just not the right time, because I'm already consumed in Shin Megami Tensei, and it's like I want to spend more time in that because I'm already into it. And so I feel like it'd be like trying to start Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl at the same time and trying to figure out where you're going to put your time at. Now, granted, you can beat Shining Pearl apparently in 17 minutes, so you could just whatever. But so I kind of just decided to wait on Pokemon. I started Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm about halfway through it, so I've actually been putting a lot of time in it. The story is awesome with that game, so I'm really excited, and I love the Guardians, so it's just like, I'm here for it. I don't care really how the story goes. I just love the interaction with those characters. I put the disc for Resident Evil Village in my PlayStation, but I have not started it. I just wanted it to be installed in case I got in the mood for it. And I played, what else have I played? I played Dicey Dungeons yesterday for about 3 hours, which is fun. It's just a little deck building roguelike game. There's not a lot of substance there though, so it's not like I gotta get invested in this. I just come back and pick it up. It's kind of like Slay the Spire, if you've ever played that. I wish Michael was here to talk about it. We played Fortnite for about 2 hours yesterday. We did get a win, which I thought was great. Thanks to we were playing with Alex and his fiance, so it was really fun. And then been playing Halo, and that's on the agenda for today. I know David and I are planning on hanging out. I don't know if we're hanging out in person or online, but I think the goal is literally just to play Halo, like either in person with each other or just online in our own respective setups. So that's pretty much on the docket for today, and probably not going to be playing much of anything else until Halo's done. But that's just kind of where I'm at with it. All right, let's jump into some headlines. Not a lot this week because I imagine most of the headlines will be happening tomorrow, especially with new game reveals and everything, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the big thing, though, was PlayStation's, or Sony, sorry, it's part of PlayStation, but Sony's codename Spartacus being a competitor to Xbox Game Pass. So there's apparently going to be different tiers. There's not like exact pricing in it, but supposedly 3 tiers of this membership. The first tier is going to be like having access to like your basic PlayStation Plus stuff, and then it starts adding in like the features of PlayStation Now, and so on and so forth. Richard, what did you think about this codename Spartacus?
I need to know more about it because I'm going to reference a line from the article from Polygon. Only the highest level would allow access to retro PS1, PS2, PS3, and PlayStation portable games. So, if this is going to be a competitor to Xbox Game Pass, then in my mind, they're going to have to provide access to PlayStation 5 games. Because if Xbox is putting out their first-party titles the day of the release on their streaming service, then a competitor, if you're wanting to compete, is going to have to do the same thing. And I've not read anything about that. Aside from this article and the other articles that I've read, they've talked a lot about retro titles, which is a good thing. There's a lot of titles. There was a Scarface game for the PSP that I thought was absolutely phenomenal. But, part of my concern with that is what Nintendo has run into with their streaming service as far as like trademark, properties and stuff like that. So with these retro titles, are they only going to be like the Sony owned IPs that we'll see? I think it's a good move. I think that specifically, before Microsoft started, buying everybody, their biggest drawback was they really didn't have good first party titles. Sony still had, the ability to create, really good, Last of Us and all that stuff. But as far as like the cloud streaming and the streaming services and all that, Xbox has always been a few steps ahead of Sony in that regard. So I think it's a positive that they're looking at that and taking that seriously. But how seriously are they taking it? Again, to compete, they're really going to have to compete. So we'll see. We'll see.
One of the things that I was listening to some other content creators talk about is that, like you're saying, you have access to the backwards compatibility thing, and you also get access to like the first party releases with it. But one of the benefits of with the game and with the, it's not even about the Game Pass itself. It's just more like a feature within the backwards compatibility of how Xbox is set up, is that you can take an original Xbox disc or a 360 disc and put it in the system and play the game directly off the disc. And one of the people I was listening to made a comment about how the PS5 can't even read like a regular CD, because that's what the games came on. They didn't come on DVDs originally. And so it can't even recognize a regular CD as a form of media in the disc drive. So that means that everything that you get, you can't just go buy these old games, or if you have these old games, you can't just pop them in. You're going to have to stream them. And that's the other thing. Is like it mentions there isn't like as far as this article that we're referencing on Polygon, it doesn't sound like it's something that you can, like, you don't download these games to your hard drive. You just stream them. So it's kind of like I don't know.
They cloud gaming streaming service. So yeah, it's probably going to be streaming. I doubt you can, but I don't know. You're talking about the size of these games are so relatively small. So I don't know how. I mean, I'd almost allow. I mean, it's not up to me, obviously, but I'd almost allow some of like the PS1, some of those. I mean, because if you allow those to be downloaded and played, then you're going to free up bandwidth for other people streaming other things. I think that would be more, an efficient way to do that. But like I said, it's not up to me. But yeah, I think that we've got to see pricing. We got to see exactly what it's going to do. I definitely feel like if it doesn't compete, it's you're going to have to give some sort of a value to it to where people are going to be willing to pay that increase. Because look at all the stuff we've seen with Nintendo, with their increase and what they've actually offered ahead of that. So they're in a struggle right now with keeping fans happy. So if you're gonna do something, you gotta that old saying, go big or go home.
Right.
I mean, that's where it's at right now.
Chase, what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, pretty much that. We were just recently talking about how the older PlayStation stores are pretty much not there anymore, and they're talking about taking them down. So, I mean, it's maybe this is to revive that. So,
I mean, I think that they should give people the option, like if you, because one of the other things with Game Pass is like, say if I have for Halo, for example, I own Game Pass, but if I want to own that game instead of just being able to access it through Game Pass, I get a discount on buying it. So maybe with this, like, yeah, if you subscribe to this subscription, you can stream, I don't know, like Spyro or Crash Bandicoot or whatever to your system, but you also get a discount on owning the game, like if you wanted to buy it separately. Because one of the things that I don't like, and this is for Game Pass 2 going forward, is that like unless that they are planning on this being a service that's going to extend to the PlayStation 6 or 7, 8, whatever, eventually they're going to shut these servers off, and you're going to be at this spot where you're going to lose access to these games again. But if they give you the option where you can buy them on the store, you can literally just make a collection of all of these games for your PlayStation 5. And even if they're not supported on the next system, you will have a library to always go back to that's a lot easier to access, that it doesn't require a paywall or a subscription to get into. I don't know. Game Pass, someone did the math, like Game Pass Ultimate, like if you were to buy like a year of it, is like $180 a year. So that's kind of like their ceiling to go to. And $60 a year is kind of the minimum. So they have a little bit of room to work with there. I imagine
Is there not a deal if you buy it by the year?
I think I don't know.
as of right now, I believe you can buy them in 3-month increments.
Okay,
It used to have a year one.
Yeah,
I was about to say. I mean, that's right. A year of Ultimate would be $180. I figured they would offer like maybe some year plan for like maybe $159.
the only thing I've seen is them bundle the 2 years of Game Pass with the Xbox All Access thing, which is where you finance the Xbox Series X or whatever Xbox you want, and you get 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate with it, which is how I'm riding out my Game Pass. It's really nice not having to pay $15 a month for it. But yeah, so I think this is they have a lot of potential here. But like you said, I don't think that this really takes off unless they decide to add like major PS4 and PS5 games to the service. Maybe it doesn't come right away, but it happens eventually. But I think they should probably spend some time and money to make sure that the backwards compatible stuff also is working really well with it. But to point that Richard made about Nintendo Switches Online and how they are in a little bit of hot water. They have announced the next set of game that is coming to Nintendo Switch's online subscription, and that is going to be their major holiday release of Paper Mario 64, and that's it.
Yeah.
So starting December 10th, you will be able to you can play Paper Mario 64 through Nintendo Switch Online, which, don't get me wrong, is a phenomenal game. especially if you've never played them, but you really enjoy Super Mario RPG, Richard. Um,
No, I've played through Mario 64. No, it's a gem. I think that they're using the fact that it's such a great game to overshadow that there's no Super Nintendo, there's no Sega, there's no regular or original Nintendo. There's nothing
yeah,
else coming. They're dropping this one game, and you're just supposed to be happy with that. So
Mm-hmm.
it really doesn't bode well for the state of how this is going to go forward. But there was something brought up that was like, there's only like, I think that someone did the math that there's like only 350 Nintendo 64 games available. So like if they were to drop like 2 a month or 3 a month or what, at the rate that they were dropping like NES games, they would run out pretty quick. But they could still drop, like you said, other games too.
but if they ran out, if they put every 64 game on the Switch, though, I don't think people would be bitching about not having,
Yeah.
That would totally just get rid of the whole point about, well, they don't do anything for us. You could, well, they got everything. What else do you want? You want new Nintendo 64 games? So, I think if they did something like that, that'd be means to an end. But, I know I've said this before. I think that I totally blame Nintendo. The whole copyright situation or trademark or whatever that's the hang up in all this, they should have thought about this beforehand. That they released for instance, okay, the Super Nintendo Classic console. I don't know what deal they worked out, because that wasn't just Nintendo owned properties on that little system. Yeah. There was others. I think deals should be made, and especially with the price increase, I know they got the money to do it, depending on how many people actually signed up for it. I don't know. I mean, they can. I'm excited to play Paper Mario 64 again. I'll say that. But as far as the service as a whole, they gotta step up.
So I have a question.
They gotta step up.
I have a question. So, say that Sony's Spartacus program works out really well, right? And they start charging. Say if they match Xbox and they do $180 a year for their subscription. Do you think Nintendo follows them? Not hitting 180 a year, but they do make a multi-tiered online subscription that has like GameCube and DS and Game Boy games, and they keep adding different tiers for extra consoles? Or do you think that like this N64 one is kind of like it, and this is
I mean, saying they'll try it is one thing from saying that it'll work. Because, they've tried the Nintendo 64 thing, and I know it's still kind of too early to, put a toe tag on it. But, if what we've seen so far is any hint towards the future, it's not going to go well, because, you can pay $180 a year to Nintendo, and you may get 8 GameCube games on launch, but then 2 years later you're maybe looking at 10 GameCube games. There's no dependency on, or not a dependency, I don't know the right word. There's no schedule, it seems. It's just kind of like they just kind of pepper things intermittently. Even if they were to say, okay, we're going to have games that they're going to be like bi-weekly, this, and there's actually, you could go and see, oh, look what's coming in June, or like it was in the beginning. Then it'd be different. I just feel like as they've progressed, they really lost track of what they're doing or how to do it. It was so much more structured in the beginning. Yeah. And I had a lot more faith in it then than I do now, to where now it's just like, oh, something else is on there. All right, well, that's cool. It's only been 8 months. So, I just think there's a lot of things they could do better, and I wish they would. I hope they would.
Jace, you gonna pick up Paper Mario 64 on the 10th?
Nope. Still have not bought the upgrade. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Look at you saving money. I bought it for science, and I literally played Ocarina of Time for all of 10 minutes, and I was like, "Huh, that's cool. It's just the same," and then I turned it off.
Yeah.
And I haven't touched the Animal Crossing stuff either. Like, I don't know, man. Man, oh man. There was a new handheld that's still a prototype revealed last week, and that is the Razer Snapdragon G3X, which pretty much it's not a Switch competitor and it's not a Steam Deck competitor because of how everything kind of works with it. So this is actually NVIDIA, I believe, partnering with Qualcomm to make a dedicated gaming handheld that to me looks a lot better than the Steam Deck. It doesn't look as big and bulky as the Steam Deck. This is still a prototype though, so it may change later on. But some of the specs that are included with this prototype, I'm sorry, it's not a prototype, it's a dev kit. It offers a 6.65 inch FHD 120 hertz OLED display with haptic feedback, active cooling, has your typical thumbsticks, buttons, triggers, 6 gigs of RAM, and 8-core processor running Android, and yeah, looks pretty cool. So the big thing here is that it doesn't run Steam. It only runs like cloud-based stuff like Game Pass. I imagine you could probably do like the Steam Link or whatever, and like that. I think there's Amazon. Is it Amazon Luna? I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
And Google Stadia and stuff like that. So anything that you could stream to it, you could play with it. Chase, what do you think about the design of this mobile system?
Design looks okay. It kind of looks like a big Game Gear.
Yeah.
It looks like they literally just stuck a phone into a controller.
Yep.
not like it. Yeah, not like the ones that are attached to the sides. It just looks like this is like a big giant phone case for this particular phone. It looks okay. I'll watch the video about it. I mean, it's not for me. But
it
looks cool.
If it's priced competitively with the Steam Deck, I think I'd rather have this than the Steam Deck because that thing is just like a monster. But Richard, how about you? What do you feel about this? The Razer?
No, I don't like it. I don't like mobile handheld. I hate this whole revolution about streaming to a phone and being able to play games on your phone because I think it's like, we need to. It's not okay to play games on a tiny ass screen. Like games are meant to be played on 50 to 70 inches, if not larger. I mean, immerse yourself. Like, don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess you do what you have to do if you have to play on a phone. I mean, yeah, that's fine, but that's not okay with me. I don't think that's how games are meant to be played on tiny little screens. But yeah, so I mean, I'm getting a Steam Deck. So, I don't have a dog in the fight. But now I'm not buying it for a handheld. I'm buying it just to play my Steam games in my living room. Mm-hmm. That seems very handy.
I mean, yeah, you pretty much could just, even if you got the Steam Deck and then just docked it at your living room and then just never undocked it to play as a handheld, you could do that.
That is the plan. It's just to leave it docked right over there.
Meanwhile, you could just build a PC for probably cheaper than the Steam Deck. But
I don't think so, man. The last time I was like searching for parts and build my own, I ended up with like a $3,000 order. So I'm either not doing it right or.
Well, I guess it means if you're trying to stream the games to the system or if you're trying to play them natively, I guess it would be a difference. Which one did you end up ordering? Was it the?
I didn't order it.
I thought
the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far. Like we paid $5 for like a place in a queue.
You can't even purchase it.
I thought you got to pick which model you wanted though.
You will.
We reserved I reserved the mid-tier one.
That's what I reserved too.
Oh, that mid-tier, yeah. I didn't see any real hardcore advantage to doing the top one.
The only thing I saw is it comes with like a screen protector. Like what? All right, and our last headline, which again, there's not a lot of headlines this week. Joseph Fares, who is the developer behind It Takes Two, has come out and said that Take-Two Interactive has pretty much hit them with a trademark claim, meaning that they had to abandon ownership of the title It Takes Two on their video game. And this is a statement to Eurogamer. A Hazelight spokesperson told the outlet that the studio cannot comment on ongoing disputes, but hopes that the situation will be resolved. Take-Two has also been filing trademark claims for names that include words like Rockstar, Social Club, Mafia, and Civilization, since these words all have connections to products or services that tie to Take-Two properties. Yeah, they've been pretty much has hit Hazelight Studios It Takes Two with a trademark claim indicating that Hazelight has seemingly been forced to abandon ownership of the game's name. Chase, you're shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
I mean, It Takes Two is named after the song. It's not named after that company.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't. I mean, I don't know. I feel like some of these copyright like reaches just go way too far. And I feel like this is an overreach for sure.
Yeah, like how is Take-Two gonna come after like anything? Like Rockstar is not like a uncommon phrase, right? Like you got like musicians and people have been known to call other people Rockstar just for doing a good job on something. Like, I mean, it's just a way some people speak.
I think we need to stop using the term Rockstar in this podcast before we're hit with like a claim by Take-Two. I think we're using the term Rockstar too much.
I think we've said Take-Two too many times also.
Yeah, also, yeah. I want to see them actually go after the actual mafia. I want them to take legal action against the mafia. I don't. This is my take. I don't fault Take-Two Interactive or anybody. I fault the legal system and the courts that go along with this. That say, okay, yeah, you can copyright Social Club. I mean, come on, like, and then what exactly? I don't know. I think this is kind of ridiculous. Like, how the hell are you going to copyright the term civilization?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, so I mean, are they going to start like, what history book in any level of any school does not use the term civilization? Are they going to get hit with a claim by Take-Two? Like, oh, no, wait a minute. That's
yeah, like you get to the end of the textbook and it's got like all the copyrights at the bottom of it, and the first one just says Take-Two Interactive. The back of it.
Like, I want to look up like the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, and then I'm gonna copyright his name.
I think his name's Donald Mustard.
Donald Mustard? Well, then I'm going to copyright that, and then I'm going to sue him. Be like, I own your name, buddy.
I'm gonna look
you got
it
to
up.
pay me if you're going to use it.
Oh,
but that's how ridiculous it's gotten, though. I mean, just from this article. I mean, come on. I mean,
okay, so I was wrong. I know Donald Mustard works for Take-Two. He's somewhere in that, but the CEO of Take-Two is Strauss Zelnick.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna copyright the names Strauss. See what he thinks of that.
Just to come after
file
him.
a claim against him.
Just gonna.
Like, I don't care what you call yourself, but anytime you go by Strauss, you owe me money, buddy.
All right, and that's going to bring us to our discussion topic for this week, which is all about the Game Awards, because obviously that is happening tomorrow. There's always some really big announcements, including sometimes game consoles. So I thought we would just go through some quick predictions for stuff that may be there, and also there are some rumored things that we'll start with. We have potentially a rumored reveal for BioShock 4, which I already forgot the name of. If y'all remember, please tell me.
There's two different rumors for that, though.
It's BioShock.
There was like Isolation was the one with the two cities, and then there was another name for that other one.
Don't remember.
One was Isolation. I can't remember what the other one was, but they were two very different concepts, though. So I don't.
Yeah, the rumor was saying that it was going to get announced in early next year, but it's possible they could show it tomorrow.
Yeah. Potentially a new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, which that's where my money's on for major game.
Breath of the Wild, the sequel.
Yes. Finally going to give that damn thing a name.
That's it, man. Breath of the Wild, the sequel.
What if it's the Squeakquel and it's just got Alvin and the Chipmunks in it?
I could be excited for that.
It's the Shrekkening, and you just go to Shrek's world.
Like
Oh my
Link
god.
takes on the role of Dave and has to deal with like the.
It's like, Link, what are you doing in my swamp?
I mean, you can make that happen in Breath of the Wild. You can mod Shrek and Thomas the Tank Engine and everything else into it. Potentially a new trailer for Hellblade 2 that was shown off at the Game Awards in 2019, which that was my first introduction to Hellblade. Like, I knew it existed, but I'd never played anything with it. I need to finish that game. That's in the pile of shame things, but it was fun. It just wasn't the right time to play. But Hellblade 2 looks awesome. Metroid Prime 4 potentially getting a new trailer, which I'm pretty sure that game doesn't even exist at this point. Like, I want it to exist, but I don't think it will.
It probably does on some spreadsheets.
Yeah. And then I have a list of some things that have been announced at the Game Awards. I mean, obviously there's like Smash DLC, but that's over, which is what makes me think Nintendo's going to bring something cool to the Game Awards. Last year was Dragon Age 4, Mass Effect 4, the Callisto Protocol, and Back 4 Blood. So some pretty major reveals there. I don't know. Do you guys have anything that you think possibly could show up?
There has been, there's been a lot of talks of like CD Projekt Red really going hard on the Cyberpunk DLC. I don't know if we'll see anything from that, but I hope so. I don't know. I'm just like really excited to like. There's just going to be something that's just going to blow all of us away, and that we just don't know about.
Oh wow! That's
you know,
a lot to live up to, man.
I know.
You know, my thing, and I was
my litmus is like.
Oh, I know.
My thing is like, you know, this next year looks like it is like almost like the revival of so many old franchises. Like, you possibly have a new BioShock coming. There's a new Mass Effect, a new Dragon Age. There's a new Dead Space reboot. You have a Saints Row reboot coming. Like, it's like them taking all those old franchises from like 10, 15 years ago, and they're just bringing them back to life with new energy in them. New perfect.
Which is alluding to Silent Hill. a year of old franchises. I'm going to assume that's what that note reads. I don't know. I think Punch Out, man, would be more on my thing is if they did, But I was just talking about how like my litmus was, just because it's something I'm excited about. You also got to impress me. So don't give me like a crappy Silent Hill and expect me to be like, yeah, I want a good Punch. I meant Silent Hill. I almost said Punch Out again. I really want to fucking Punch Out. Will somebody not listen to me out there and make it damn Punch Out again?
So in the notes, I put at the bottom of it, one thing that I can't say, but Richard is going to be really excited. And there is a heavy rumor from industry insiders that says there is going to be a new trailer for a Silent Hill reboot that's going to be shown off tomorrow. So you guessed it.
Yeah, I don't. I can't be. I'm. I don't know. My excitement level. My wife has a saying, don't tell me about the delivery, just show me the baby. And that's where I'm at, I don't just show me the baby. I'll tell you if it's ugly or not.
Do you think it's possible that the Resident Evil Village DLC shows up?
Oh, I would like that. They could go a couple of different ways with that. I'd be curious. Whenever they announced the nominees for Game of the Year, like, I mean, to be honest, Resident Evil Village was awesome, but it wasn't like something I considered to win Game of the Year. But then it won Game of the Year at the Golden Joysticks last year, or last week, whatever. And it got me thinking about how, like, when Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year in 2017, they dropped the DLC for it, like, that night. So I wonder if Village wins, do they drop the DLC tomorrow night also? Or at least announce it. Wow, that's not what I got from that. I got that you're alluding that Nintendo paid off the award show to give it the Breath of the Wild so that they could do that. I don't know. I'm excited for the DLC either way. I don't think it. I don't think it wins Game of the Year. I'm, with the golden joysticker. I mean, that's such like a niche appeal game to win Game of the Year. I don't know.
And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they had the exact same games up for nomination as the Game Awards, so it outbeat Metroid Dread and Ratchet and Clank and everything else.
Wow.
So, speaking of, do y'all have predictions of who wins Game of the Year tomorrow?
I want it to be. I want it to be Ratchet and Clank, but I feel like it may be Deathloop.
I think it's going to be Deathloop, but I've kind of changed my perspective a little bit to where I kind of want Metroid Dread to win, because if Metroid wins, then that means that there's not going to be an 18-year gap until the next Metroid game. It shows that there are people that interested in playing that again.
See, I figured Metroid's kind of a niche appeal too, especially a 2D Metroidvania style thing like that, because there's so many of those out right now. I'm still thinking Deathloop. The golden joystick, that kind of makes things weird, but I don't know how they go about choosing something like that. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Deathloop is niche appeal, but
I mean, it's a story-driven first-person shooter, which is the exact same thing as Village. So now Deathloop is a little bit longer than Village, but
yeah, but Deathloop is like its own IP though, its own story. You with Resident Evil, you got a lot of history there too. So
I did see something where
that plays in.
This is the first time that a Ratchet and Clank game has been up for nomination for Game of the Year also. So it doesn't have a track record with winning any kind of awards at the Game Awards. So should be interesting to see how. I think the big thing is that there isn't like a standout game that's like oh my god, this is gonna win the show, like a God of War or anything. So I think it's gonna be pretty balanced out. And then next year, like oh my god, next year is gonna be fucking crazy, because you have Horizon, God of War, Halo, Breath of the Wild 2, whatever else we don't know about showing up. Like it's next year's gonna be nuts. Like I don't know how they're gonna pick between 6 games for Game of the Year. And I've heard not a lot of rumors, but there has been some rumblings that there is a 3D Mario game, like a new one coming out next year also. Like holy shit. That's a lot of big AAA releases next year. All right. Do you have any final thoughts on the Game Awards, predictions for who wins anything, or any trailers or reveals happening before we move on? Nothing?
No.
All right.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah. So I put in the notes that we might take a trip down into harddrive.net, our favorite place on the planet. But I thought it would be more interesting instead to play like a little game with it. And I've called it the Hard Drive Challenge. And so I have 4 articles here. And 3 of them are real articles, and 1 of them is fake. And you have to guess which one is the fake article from harddrive.net. So, these, I'm going to just go through these real quick. The first one says, where did it go? Oh my god, my phone's acting crazy. Sorry. New game controllers for babies are designed to be edible. A company called Tiny Circuits has designed a playable Game Boy designed for ants. Jackbox has now included a hard mode update banning the word cum, making the game even harder. And Razer has announced new thumb condoms for mobile gamers.
Oh, wow. Man, before we even get into what's real and what's fake, I think what's terrifying is that 3 of those are real. Um,
No, man, I'll wait till I'll say that after this is over. So,
Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, like, right? I'm leaning towards the ant one being
Yeah,
fake,
I'm
but
leaning
then,
toward that one, but
I'm thinking, you know what? I've seen like really large, wealthy schools do dumber stuff for like science, so I don't know. Maybe we got to do something with the grant money, one of those situations. So.
mhm.
Please let it be the ant one. I mean, not that like All right, so the thumb condoms, I can. I don't know what you would use it for, but I can see that as a reality. Babies like chew on controllers. Whatever that first one was, I can see all those being kind of a reality. The ant thing, though, yeah, I think it's the ant one.
Jason, you locking in the ant one also?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do this in a style where I read off the ones that are real and work our way up to the fake one. So the first real article on this is Razer has announced new thumb condoms for mobile gamers. I'm going to pull this up. And by the way, all of these articles that are real are from Kotaku.com, but they are real things. The headline for this,
I see, like mobile, it protects your thumbs. You're trying to.
yeah.
Maybe you get sweaty and you stick on the screen. So.
So the quote for this says, "It isn't even April 1st, but nobody told Razer when it announced its gaming, quote, finger sleeves." Yes, finger sleeves. They are literally little sleeves that cap off your fingers to supposedly enhance their grip. And these particular finger sleeves are pitched at the gamer market. And they're literally black finger sleeves with the Razer logo on them with like a green ring around the end of them.
Okay.
But
Is there like a magnum sized, if you have like a really big thumb? Is that...
Nope. Says these non-slip finger gloves are supposedly aimed at folks who play mobile games like Fortnite or whatever the kids are playing these days to help keep their phones securely in hand as they earn their latest victory royale. According to the website, the sleeves are made of a smooth, high-sensitivity fabric, 35% silver fiber fabric, 60% nylon, 5% spandex, are lightweight and breathable and come in just one size. I have to commend the restraint Razer displayed, not making them glow up, though. So, yeah. That one is real. The next real one. New game controllers for babies are designed to be edible. The thing says, does the stuff your infant chews on not look like a game controller anymore? Are you a gamer parent concerned that your child may want to go outside instead of sitting in front of the television all day? Well, Baby Glitch has your back with its new line of baby gamer gear featuring small-scale replicas of Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox controllers with movable joysticks and poppable buttons, all made out of delicious BPA-free silicon. So, that is real. The next real article.
Oh no.
I'm pulling it up. Tiny Circuits is making thummy Game Boy size controllers for ants.
Oh god.
Quote, "You know what my grandmother used to say? That blasted Game Boy of yours, it's too damn big." She was right. The old woman was wise, and if this fictional Graham were alive today, maybe she'd smile upon hearing word of Thummy, a very, very small Game Boy-like device that launched a Kickstarter today, but it's made for ants. And it literally is like the size of a micro SD card. With that,
What is this? A school for ants?
Yeah. I'll be sending the articles to y'all if y'all want to read them. But that means that the fake article from harddrive.net was that Jackbox has now included a hard mode banning the word "come." So it means you actually have to play the game now. Instead of so anyway, I thought it'd be more fun to do that instead of just reading off hard drive articles. But that is going to bring us to the final trivia question for year one.
Bum, bum, bum.
Which means that there will be a winner and revealed tomorrow for who wins this final award.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this last trivia question going to be a deciding factor, or is this last trivia question pointless?
I don't want to give it away, but
Okay, all right. Let her rip.
it is pointless. But we're still gonna do it anyway.
We're gonna do it, yeah.
We're gonna do it.
For point total's sake.
Yeah, for point total sake. And I thought, what better game franchise to wind down this first year of trivia with than a franchise I hold very dear to my heart, being the series Banjo-Kazooie. So.
No. I've never played any of them. No, I played Nuts and Bolts.
Oh God, you played the worst one.
Well, no, I was attracted to the idea of being able to build your own little smashed together vehicle things.
Ew.
I thought that was really cool. It was a terrible game. It didn't work out well, but the idea though that you could just kind of Lego together different objects to make a vehicle, I thought that was great. I like creativity like that.
So, this week's trivia question is, in Banjo-Tooie, so that's the sequel to Banjo-Kazooie, what is the name of the creature you have to collect to unlock the transformation spells or to get help from Mumbo Jumbo? Is it a Jinjo, a Minjo, a Globo, or a Klungo?
Yeah, this is pointless. I'm gonna go with the second one.
Wait, could I hear them again?
Yeah, sure. You just want to hear me say these words again. I get it. So your options are a Jinjo, a Minjo, a Globo, or a Klungo.
I'm gonna go with the first just to make it interesting.
So, in Banjo-Tooie, it's not even a Klungo. Klungo is a boss in Banjo-Kazooie. I just needed a fourth word that ended in O to make everything not look suspicious. So, a Jinjo is the little colorful little, I don't know what they're, I guess they're just called Jinjos. The little things you collect on the levels, and if you collect all of them, you get a jigsaw piece. The Minjos were something that were added in Banjo-Tooie that look like Jinjos, but when you go to collect them, they attack you. So the correct answer is a Globo.
Oh, okay.
But again, a pointless trivia question.
Yeah. Even added the fact that we all got it wrong.
Yeah. So we do have that the trivia scores for this first year are final. I will reveal it tomorrow. But I just want everyone to know that had a certain someone done something a little bit differently several weeks ago, it would have been a lot more interesting. But Michael did something recently to throw some things off. So.
Oh, is that when he gave me the points for when I got the Joker thing?
Yeah.
The Batman thing?
Yeah.
If I win, I will include him in my speech.
I couldn't have been here without you. All right, but yeah, that is gonna do us up for this episode of Next Gen News Week. Do you guys have anything you would like to plug before we close out?
No Mini Left Behind. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook.
Nice.
It's cool little painted board game miniatures.
Yeah. Is it too late for people to find out about that Switch game giveaway thing that you've been talking about?
So, it's No Gravity Games, and it's technically not. It's not too late, but the way it works is almost like a blockchain. They gave a game away on December 1st, and then the 2nd, and then now the Friday game, you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to download it. So there's a little bit of a grace period, but you only have 24 hours to download, each game. If you break the chain, then you have to purchase every game they've released so far for free to be back into that chain. Because I guess basically what they do is they look at what you own. And if you've got all the previous titles, it automatically queues you up for a free download. So the further along you wait, the more shit you're going to have to buy to be able to get the stuff for free. But I think they've just released the 5th game now. So and they're all on sale, by the way. So you wouldn't be too far out if you... so the first game was... what was the first game? Creepy Tail, I think. Is that the name of it? Yeah, Creepy Tail. Creepy Tail was the first game, which it's really good. The second game was Star Horizon. The third game was Strike Force Kitty. The fourth game is Make War, and the 5th game is Kikarino World, and then the 6th game came out today, which is Graviteer. So, if you missed any of the previous titles, you'd have to purchase them to be placed back into the blockchain for today or tomorrow's title. So and they're currently on sale anywhere between $1 to $5 a piece. These aren't like AAA titles. I think the most expensive one they've given away so far was like a $10 title. So they're not blockbusters, but a couple of them I've played. They're really good time wasters.
Nice.
So yeah, you can check that out. It's only available on Switch. It's from No Gravity Games, and yeah, it's a blockchain where you have to have all the previous releases to be entitled for the next one. So, yeah, if you're gonna do it, or if you're thinking about do it today, because the longer you wait, the more titles you may have to purchase on sale. So, check that out now if you're gonna do that.
Nice. Jason, anything to plug?
Nothing today.
All right. Well, we will see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time for our pre-show of the Game Awards. We'll be doing our own thing, and then we'll turn it over to the official event, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, if we don't see you tomorrow, have a good week, and we'll see you next time. No weird plug from Michael.
We're all waving and stuff, so bye.
Yeah. No weird plug from Michael this week. This episode's brought to you by Michael's absence because we don't have another plug. So Michael got lost in the metaverse somewhere. And we'll see you later.
Michael probably has a collection of plugs.
Oh. This week's episode is brought to you by Michael's plugs. Whether they're real plugs or social plugs, he's got them.